Welcome back, everyone. Today's topic comes from Manda Soso. Mommytard, what do you do when it comes to discipline? Do you spank, put in timeout, take something away? What do you do? This is a very interesting topic and very controversial, I've noticed. Like, there's so many people that agree with one thing, that think one thing's really bad. The problem with kids is they don't come with a manual. It's hard to know exactly what to do and what works for each kid because each kid is different. And I've noticed that I can't discipline one kid exactly the same as the other one. It doesn't work the same. I think that most people, when they first have kids, will revert to how their parents disciplined. My parents, they did everything. They spanked. We were put in timeout when we were older. We had privileges revoked and things like that. With my own kids, it was hard to know what to do. So I did try all of the above. And it's hard with each level of kid because, you know, at one age, they respond to something differently than at another age. The thing about kids is I've realized you have to talk to them as if they are an adult. You have to talk to them and be reasonable with them. If one of them's done something wrong, get on their level, explain, you know, you did this wrong because of this and this and this. That's not okay because of this. And try to explain it to them. Whatever you decide to do, you have to follow through. If you say you have to sit in timeout for this amount of time, then you have to make them sit in timeout for that amount of time. If you say, you know, don't do that, or you're not going to get a cookie after dinner, and you give them a cookie after dinner, then they're not going to take you seriously. I have found through trial and error what my favorite method of discipline has been timeouts, because I feel like I can get them to sit in timeout, and as soon as I can get them to sit there, then I can explain to them why they're in trouble in a calm and rational manner and tell them, you know, maybe what we should try different next time. And it's a repetitive process. They do not learn it the first time, or the second time, or the third time, or the fourth time. It's years of timeout again for the same thing. Discipline to me is a teaching tool. If you can control yourself and think, okay, I'm trying to correct a behavior here. I'm not mad at my child. I don't hate my child. I need to correct this. So if you can first contain yourself so that you can do it in a loving, teaching manner, that I feel like is going to have a better impact than disciplining out of anger. The other thing that would be important to remember with especially young children is a lot of times they don't understand what the rules are. They don't know what they're doing wrong because you haven't told them, or, you know, like I heard this saying once, like, I told you not to step off the curb. I kept telling, you know, she got after her child for, don't step off the curb. And then the child's like, Mommy, what's a curb? You know, sometimes kids don't know. So you have to really take into consideration that teaching mentality when you're disciplining your kids. Through disciplining my kids, it has been a process of trial and error and learning what works for which kid. And sometimes I do act out of anger and I always feel bad about it. But the other thing that I've tried to implement with my kids, especially when I do things like that, is to show an increase of love afterwards. Tell them, you know, if you get after them and you set them in timeout and they're in trouble, blah, 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 whatever you do, make sure afterwards that they know that you love them and you just want them to be able to be happy and to feel good about themselves. And so you're trying to teach them. But the most important thing is to let your children know that you do love them and you just want the best for them. So obviously I am not an expert and I don't know what I'm talking about all the time. This is what I do, and so I'm hoping that it will help you guys decide what you want to do. And I just want to tell to all of you who are babysitters or parents and you're disciplining, it is difficult, and I understand. I know that it can be so stressful and frustrating, and they are going to just repeat things over and over again, but it's okay. Just do your best. Don't stress out about it too much. Don't overthink it, and don't feel like you're a horrible parent if you did one thing one day and did a different thing one day, or if you yelled at them one day. They love you, and that's what you need to show them, is just that you love them. All right, guys, my goal for last week and the week before that and the week before that was to talk to somebody new, and I did do it. I wasn't perfect at it. It is hard to come out of your comfort zone and break your bubble and talk to people, but I did do it. My most favorite part of this goal was reading your comments and video responses. And there was actually one video response that I liked that made me giggle. So take it away.
I am reading the same book as Shay, The Fault in Our Stars. I'm a total nerd fighter. And I was sitting on the bus today and I hadn't met anyone new. Well, I hadn't met anyone. I hadn't met anyone new. And I looked at the person sitting next to me, and they're reading The Fault in Our Stars, and I'm like, oh my goodness, no one, like, it's a new book. No one here that I know of knows about it except for a few of my friends. And I was like, wow, I totally have to talk to this person. But I was kind of nervous because talking to people on the bus can be pretty hard. So I talked to them, and it was totally awesome. We struck up a conversation, and when I left, I was really happy. And I was so glad that I did, because I knew if I didn't, I would really regret not talking to them.
Thank you so much for that. I love that you can just talk to random people on the bus. So everybody, I think that's a goal that we can all just kind of hold on to a little bit, maybe keep trying throughout the rest of our lives. And my goal for next week, I have a really bad habit, guys. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm late. I'm always late. Oh, it's so hard for me, especially after I had kids. I've always been late. Not always. I need to give myself a little credit. But yes, I'm sort of late sometimes. So my goal for this week is to shoot for being early so that hopefully I'll be on time to all of my meetings, to church, the kids on time for school, which I have been pretty good about, but they're usually like right there, right when the bell's about to ring. I want to make good habits for me and my kids to be on time. So that's the goal for this week. I know you guys want to join me on this one. Get up earlier. All right, I will see you next week. Don't forget comments, video responses, questions, and tell me about how you're doing on this goal. I love you guys. As always, bye-bye.